what's up everybody?
What's going on?
This is Tony.
And I'm Jenny.
And we are Lido Loca, and this is our Carnival Liberty Cruise recap. Yeah, so we just got back a couple weeks ago from the Carnival Liberty. I hope you've been tracking along, watching all the different vlogs that we put out, reviews of restaurants and shacks and all kinds of stuff. But I guess it's time to put a bow on this series to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Carnival
to the Carnival Liberty. And we thought we would just do this video today to cover some of the big items, and give a little feedback on how we felt about it.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, Jenny. Well, I think I'll lead it off. Let's talk about the pre-cruise. What did you think about the pre-cruise down to New Smyrna Beach, Florida?
So it started out a rainy day up here in Charlotte, driving down, and I thought we would never get out of the rain and the dark, and then our GPS took us like a crazy, scary way, actually.
Yeah.
And finally hit 95, and then after that it was kind of smooth sailing, and New Smyrna Beach was just beautiful, and Florida doesn't really get that cold weather, so it was super nice to have that sun shining on your face and just hearing the ocean waves crash and hanging out with Johnny. It was a great time.
Yeah, our previous cruises we had booked a hotel where we could stay the night and then park our car. We were fortunate that we had family that close to the cruise port, and we were able to do that, and it was nice. It was crazy. The drive was crazy because of the GPS, but once we got there and settled in for some dinner, it really was a perfect night, I think, before we cruised.
It was, and then we had a nice dinner in New Smyrna Beach, right on a canal.
Like a marina, New Smyrna Marina. That's what I believe it's called.
Yeah, and it was just a really beautiful night. Hanging out with Chris and Heidi, Retro Sarge and his Queen Heidi.
That's right.
Getting us excited and pumped and ready for the next day.
Yeah. So. Day one, embarkation day, we did start out in New Smyrna Beach. We had to make about the hour drive from New Smyrna down to Port Canaveral. So what did you think of Port Canaveral, and what did you think about well, I guess we'll talk about it in a couple ways. We did a park and shuttle package.
Right.
So we parked probably 10 minutes away from the cruise port, and we were shuttled over. It was called Park Port Canaveral, I believe.
Right.
And so what did you think about that?
Well, so the day started out super cool because I had some D&D coffee.
America runs on Dunkin'.
That's right.
That's what I heard.
It's kind of funny though because
Hold on.
I like Starbucks.
Time out.
And I like Dunkin' Donuts.
Time out.
But I'm kind of a Starbucks girl now.
Time out.
What?
I got to know from the people out there. What's your favorite kind of coffee? Are you a little snobbish like me? You like the Starbucks? Are you a little upstate New York? Well, not even upstate. Are you a little Long Island like Jenny? You like the Dunkin' Donuts? Are you from Seattle? You like Seattle's best? I don't know. Leave a comment below. Let us know what your favorite coffee is, or do you just like to make it at the house? I'm sorry. You had your Dunkin'.
Okay, so we had our Dunkin', and we headed on down to Port Canaveral, and that was a nice, easy drive.
Yeah.
About an hour from New Smyrna, which was nice. And then I thought Port Canaveral was pretty cool because when you get in closer to the port, you go over this bridge, and then when you get to that middle of that bridge and the hump of not seeing to the other side, you see all of the cruise ships, and it's so exciting.
They shouldn't do that because I was driving, and if you watch that vlog, I'm like kind of like, look at the ships. Didn't seem safe, but yeah, it was pretty cool to go over the rides, and I know I misidentified the Oasis of the Seas as a building
because it's huge.
Yeah, I was like, wow. So yeah, so you actually pass the cruise port to get to the Port Canaveral parking
It's right outside the Radisson.
Yeah, right outside the Radisson
hotel.
We paid $58 for 4 days worth of parking, and it was cheaper than the cruise port. and the cruise terminal parking, but not at, there's maybe a cheaper spot on the other side of the bridge, but I felt really good for the $58. They took good care of our car.
Yeah, and it was shuttle to and from.
Right.
And they drop you right at the baggage claim. Yeah, so that was nice.
What was interesting is they had a porter. So the shuttle stopped in the parking lot. There was a porter there with a big luggage bin, and so they were able. We didn't have to carry our big luggage anywhere. The porters were there to meet the shuttle, and then we still had to walk probably maybe 10 minutes. Not 10. Was it 10 minutes? Maybe it felt like 10 minutes. It wasn't that far, but there was a good crowd. It probably took us another 5 to 10 minutes to get inside the cruise terminal.
Yeah, and it is a big. Like, it's a pretty big incline and a lot of wrapping around.
Yeah.
But we did notice that there was an elevator, so if you do have a, harder time getting up and down and, doing that incline, there is an elevator there as well before you get on, so.
Yeah. We had Faster to the Fun. This is the third time we've used Faster to the Fun. I think the whole process from when we walked into the cruise terminal to when we were ready to get on the ship was less than 20 minutes. I think it was only like 15 minutes.
And that's taking a picture.
Yeah, we stopped to get a picture made. Our whole group wasn't there. We had about 5 minutes as we caught up with the rest of our group. And so Faster to the Fun was great. We identified ourselves as Faster to the Fun. They put us in a special line, and boom, we were through it. So, we've not done a cruise without Faster to the Fun, and so if anybody's been through Port Canaveral not on Faster to the Fun, I would love to hear in the comments what your normal boarding experience is. I'm worried sometimes that, it would be the same.
Right.
But, we passed a line of people that were waiting to check in. When we embarked on the ship, there was also a line of people, and this is the first time ever on the Carnival Liberty. There were two... There were two embarkation doors. There were the non-Faster to the Fun, non-priority door that had a line.
Right.
And then there
was a long line.
Then there was a come right on the ship, Faster to the Fun, and I'm sure priority, like the high...
The diamonds.
The diamonds. Yeah. And so we walked right on the ship, and it was super fast, super great experience. Our room was ready, so it was perfect.
Yeah, and that's why I like Faster to the Fun, because the room is ready and, we could drop off our luggage. Luggage is usually at the room that we checked in within like the half hour, an hour. So what we do is just drop off our carry-ons and run up to the Lido, have something to eat and come back. And so that was kind of cool. By the time we got back from lunch on the Lido, our stuff was there.
Right.
So that was nice.
Yeah, so the rest of this review or wrap up, we're going to kind of break it down into what we felt about the ship, what we felt about the ports, what we felt about the food, and what we felt about like the entertainment and other activities. But before we get to that, the only other thing that was significant from Embarkation Day that I think is worth talking about is that muster drill.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so just to give you some background on the first two cruises, the first cruise we were on the Carnival Fantasy, we mustered in the large showroom, like the entertainment hall. Right. It was super easy. We sat in the cool. On the second, on the Carnival Paradise, we mustered on the Lido deck, sat out in the sun a little bit, and we had our muster drill there. And on both of those fantasy class ships, they dispersed the people to different areas of the ship, and then they brought them up to show them the lifeboats. It was not that on the Carnival Liberty. On the Carnival Liberty, everybody mustered on deck 4, on either one side or the other. Now, had we known that, we may have done it differently. We are fairly good about being early for things. And so we were early to the muster drill. We were some of the first people that were out on deck 4. And what happened is as they keep gathering people, they just start stacking you one in front of the other.
Right.
And so by the time that the muster drill actually happened, we were in a crowd of about 5 deep, just pushed up against one of the walls of the ship.
It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was super uncomfortable. It was people on top of people. My legs were sore because I stood there for a long period of time, and I was a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, a little. It was a lot.
Yeah, so just to be aware, I mean, it took about the same amount of time that a muster drill does. They have to get everybody there. They have to check everybody in. But in that circumstance, that might be one where you want to be one of the last people out onto the deck. Now, there's a balance there. You don't want to hold up the muster drill, but if you're claustrophobic, if you have trouble standing for a long period of time, I thought it made sense to let you guys know that, so you're aware. That's a Conquest class ship. I'm not sure if they do it the same way on every Conquest class, but
I felt a little bit like that. It was a little unorganized, if that's a good word. I don't want to say unorganized, but because we were so far back, it was very hard to hear what they were saying anyway.
It was a little chaotic.
Yeah.
And I felt like the people were doing as good a job as they could, but you know, of course, some people are able to get a few drinks in them before the muster drill.
Yeah,
and so there was some party wranglers, you know, trying to wrangle the party people. But yeah, I just want to give you the heads up that could be a little bit of a challenge. All right, Jenny, on to the ship. What did you think about the Carnival Liberty?
I absolutely loved the Carnival Liberty.
Yeah?
I did.
What did you like about it?
I loved that there was the long decks on that, you know, that you could walk on, or, you know, like I've said before, I'm a smoker, and, you know, the smoking areas were much better than on the fantasy classes. I enjoyed the 3 tiers overlooking the movie screen out on the Lido. I just felt like, even though there was a lot more people on the ship, I felt like there was much more room for people to disperse and that kind of stuff. And the casino was awesome on this ship. Yeah,
so the first day that we got there, when we were trying to eat lunch as soon as we embarked, there were just a lot of people. Like,
there was a lot
of people on the Lido, a lot of people in the buffet. There's just a lot of people everywhere. And I thought we got on fairly early. So my first impression was like, dang, it's going to be crowded on this ship. I don't know if I like it. I missed my little fantasy class, no crowd kind of ship. And I think all that crowd was just a product of everybody embarking. And what I found out is that as time would go on, the only time you would see crowds would be like at peak eating time. And so if you ate a little earlier, ate a little later, you really didn't have a crowd. And the other thing that I came to realize is that basically the smaller ships and the bigger ships, at least between the Conquest and the Fantasy class, they have the same stuff.
That's right.
It's just all bigger. And so like the casino's bigger, you know, everything's bigger, but it's all laid out the same way. And so, you know, the halls were longer, the decks were longer, and what it turned out to be is it really did provide you with a lot of space. And yeah, I liked it. I'm not a smoker, and so, you know, some of the challenges we have sometimes is on those smaller ships where it's real smoky, I can't hang out. And so Jenny and I end up doing a lot of stuff apart. What was cool on this one is that the smoking area was big enough to where the smoke didn't really bother me. And so we were able to go off to the side where it wasn't so bad. And so
where we met Barbie.
Yeah, so I like that quite a bit. But yeah, it was a cool ship. I thought it was fun. The atrium was beautiful, and I was skeptical. Of the tiered Lido. I was like, oh, why'd they tier up this Lido? You know, in the different levels, you know, like a rock concert. But I really came to appreciate it because I realized you could put a lot of people on that Lido deck, and what really, you know, and the fact that it was nice for sitting and relaxing, and especially like during the evening for the movie, it was pretty cool. So giving the Liberty a thumbs up, and I got asked recently, you know, did I like it better than the others? I couldn't come up with an answer, but now that I've had time to think about it, I think it's my favorite ship of the 3.
Yeah, mine also.
So that was good.
The fantasy always has a special place in your heart because it was our first.
Yeah. No.
But did you say no?
I said yeah. All these ships are good. You know, it's hard to rank them because it's all.
No, but the Liberty, definitely my favorite. I think even Port Canaveral may be my favorite also.
Yeah, that was a great experience. And the fact that we were so close. I mean, it was just nice. The whole vacation felt like you were, you know, at the beach.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Tampa doesn't feel like that so much. There is good water on the Gulf, but that feels like a city on you know, like more of a bay than it does the beach. Mobile, of course, it's close to Pensacola, but Mobile itself doesn't really feel like a beach city. And but yeah, Port Canaveral coming down from New Smyrna, it just felt like I was hanging out on the coast. And it was right on the Atlantic, and it was really nice.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. So that's the ship. We both liked it. And this was our first trip to the Bahamas, so we'll talk a little bit about the ports. We ported in Freeport, and we ported in Nassau. And yeah, so Freeport was really a lot of fun. We didn't go far, but it was pretty great. What did you think of Freeport?
I had a blast at Freeport. I think it was fun. So, you know, when you get off the ship, there's the little shops, I guess you could call them, like Harley Davidson, you know, and then all the little shops there, and then Senor Frogs.
Yeah.
I just thought, you know, we didn't get to see, of course, the island of Freeport, and when you pull into that port area, it's really industrial, but it was pretty cool because we got to see an old Carnival ship that was being utilized for another company.
Right.
And then we got to see a Royal and a Carnival in dry dock, which was pretty cool. Yeah, no, I liked Freeport for the little area that we were at. The vendors were, you know, super friendly, super nice.
Yeah.
Not pushy, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, we had a blast. Went to Senor Frogs, and we just stayed in that small area. We didn't have an excursion booked. It was our first time there, and we'd really been so busy at the end of 2017. Yes. This cruise really became just a cruise to chill out. So we didn't really overplan it. We didn't really overschedule it. And that stop at Freeport turned out to be perfect. We were able to go do a little shopping, and also just able to sit and relax with our family, have some adult drinks at Senor Frogs, watch my brother get a little crazy, having a good time, and it was really easy on and off the ship.
Absolutely.
Next day we went to the capital of the Bahamas. We went to Nassau.
Nassau.
I went out into Nassau. Jenny stayed on the ship, so I'll talk a little bit about what it was like to go out into Nassau, and then if you want, you talk a little about what it's like to stay on a ship. So yeah, I haven't had a lot of experience, you know, leaving the ship in foreign countries. Only really been to Key West, to Cuba, and now Freeport the day before, and then Nassau. And so Nassau was interesting.
And, excuse me for a minute. Cuba was big.
Cuba was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cuba was a big deal.
Yeah, that was, you know, navigating, you know, immigration and all that in Cuba, and then getting around Havana. It was pretty interesting. So I wasn't sure what to expect.
So led you into being easier in Nassau, I'm sure.
Yeah. But Nassau was still pretty bustling, and so you know, the way they set it up is you have to kind of walk through an area where there's a lot of people kind of tugging at you, grabbing your arm a little bit, trying to entice you to come on a tour. And I just wanted to get out into, you know, Nassau and just kind of see it. And so right away, my guard was up a little bit. I had to navigate and get out to the street, and it was just an interesting, bustling kind of area. Again, we didn't have a huge plan. We found the Starbucks there. And that was pretty cool. And then we decided that we would take a water taxi over to Paradise Island, where Atlantis is, the resort, and also where Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville is. And so water taxi experience was really cool. And we didn't actually walk over to Atlantis. We just had we had some drinks and some food at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And again, it was another nice, chill, nothing really scheduled afternoon. So I think I need to go back to Nassau, which I will later this year, and explore it more. But for those two things, going to Starbucks, going to Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, I know it's not that exotic, but it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed, and I had a really good time. I got back to the ship with plenty of time, and was able to just enjoy a day being out with the family, so it was cool.
Yeah, a day without me being annoying.
I mean, so yeah, I did. I missed you, Jenny, but I know you probably had a good time relaxing on the ship.
I did. I had a great time, and I hate to say it like that, but it was nice for me to experience that part of it, so we can maybe do that in the future together. But yeah, so I had gotten off the ship with the rest of our group, but I decided that I just didn't want to walk around and deal with the vendor. I didn't want to get into it that day. So I know my limitations, so I stayed behind. So I sat, there's a really cool little bench in between. I sat in between the Liberty and one of the Disney cruise ships, and just sat and looked at the water. I was able to see a Costa ship back in.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I saw all of the water taxis going back and forth. It was really nice out there. I stayed out there for about an hour or so, but then did go back up on the ship, grabbed something to eat, even though Tony thought I didn't, but I did. I grabbed a guy's
Said you
burger.
didn't have any lunch. The video evidence
Yes.
proved you different.
And I did do I did a little, like the ship tour of the laundry room, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was really just a nice day to relax. I sat up on the Lido and watched a movie. It was just really a nice time to reflect me. Sometimes you just need that alone time to reflect on things. And, like you said, we've had such a busy couple of months, between just life in general. So it was really nice just to chill and relax by myself for a little bit.
Yeah, so, was it fairly deserted? I mean, was that part of the appeal?
Yeah, there was not many people on the ship. There was a good amount of people on the ship, but, it just was, I went up to the spa to check it out, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was nice.
Nice.
Yeah, not having to wait in line for the elevators, and I had a great time.
So, of course, the last day was our sea day, so no ports to talk about there. So let's move on to the food. So what were your food highlights on the Liberty J?
So, of course, we ate in the steakhouse the first night, and that food just was phenomenal. It really was a great time and atmosphere. The food was fantastic in there. My steak was cooked to perfection. So that could be my highlight, but of course I always love the escargot that you could get in the MDR. That's probably my highlight because I don't order escargot at home, so it's always a treat for me to get it on the ship.
Yeah. So the food, it was good. We have this conversation.
Oh wait, I have to interrupt you. Actually, my highlight was the taco salad from Blue Iguana.
Oh, the Blue Iguana Cantina.
Yes. So Josh from Lido Loca Cruising Community gave me the idea to get steak and shrimp, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
Yes. So thanks, Josh.
All right. So the taco salad's your highlight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for me, the steakhouse was the best food that I had on the ship from a food quality perspective. I did try some new things this time. I was given the recommendation to try the breakfast burrito at the Blue Iguana, and it really set breakfast off for me. I think I ate that at least 2 times. Yep. And then we finally got to try the Seafood Shack, try the lobster rolls on the sea. It was all good. Again, the food in general, I would say it's a good quality, right? It's included in the cruise, most everything, and then the stuff that you did pay for was elevated, at least from the steakhouse. Now we had the lobster rolls from the Seafood Shack, and we had a fried fish plate or a seafood combo. That I could have passed on. I didn't feel like that was worth the extra money, but the lobster rolls definitely. But yeah, Blue Iguana, definitely explored it more than I did on previous cruises, and it's on my list of what I'm looking for now. Yeah. That, and of course had Guy's Burger. That's always good. And the MDR, we ate steakhouse one night, and we did the MDR 2 of the other 3 nights, and the food was good there.
Yes, it was.
So
company was better.
Yeah, we had good company. So yeah, the food pretty normal for us, what we've experienced before on Carnival, but coming away from that, I would definitely recommend the steakhouse to anybody.
Absolutely.
So good stuff.
And on the first night
you get a free bottle of wine. Check it out.
Check it out.
And then finally, what about the fun on the ship, Jenny? What was fun for you on the ship, and what did you think about the offerings there?
So what was fun for me? I didn't do any of the comedy shows this time. We didn't really do any shows this time. And that was kind of, in my sense, like fun, just because we weren't tied down to certain time frames and we really explored the ship a little bit more. I think my best night was we all took our bottles of wine out onto the Lido and watched the movie Under the Stars, Wonder Woman.
Yep.
It was really, it was that was a
cool.
great night. And of course, you know, I love the lights and the ding, 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 ding of the casino. So that's always fun for me also.
Yes, this time on the casino you did a slot tournament for the first time ever anywhere, really, right?
Yes, the slot tournament, that was a good experience. Would I do it again? Probably not, because I don't have a game of hand. And a lot of my fun is, you know, I go into it that I'm going to play on $20 for at least 3 or 4 hours. And most of the time I lose that $20, but I know what my limits are.
Yeah.
But for those $20, I sit there for like 3 or 4 hours, and, you know, and I have a glass of soda or water or whatever. And I get to people watch and people talk. And so that's what the fun of the casino is for me. And the slot tournament was it 30 seconds? How long was it? 3 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And my hand just hurt afterwards, and, you know, I think I placed like last.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. It was the first time that I've ever done one. So would I do it again? Probably not. We did sign up for the slot poll this time, but we missed it. I don't know. The time changed or something, and we just didn't get the message. So definitely next time, maybe in August. In October. Oh, we must be going on a cruise in August.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, maybe in October we can hit one of those slot polls.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I saw you not since the fantasy. It looked like you made a return to the coin pusher.
I did make a return to the coin pusher. I loved it.
Now on the Carnival Fantasy, I believe you put in $10 and won $2.
Yeah.
I don't. What happened on the? I don't know if your coin pusher skills may have diminished, but on this ship you put in 10, and you only came back away with 7.
Yeah, but I did get one of the Bs. Like they have those little things for bonuses. So I did get a B, and I turned that in to get a pack of cards.
That's nice.
Because they're worth $1. So.
All right, so only lost $1 on the coin pusher.
Yeah, but it's fun. You know, on the Carnival Liberty, I just want to add too. Their arcade is pretty cool.
Yeah, the arcade was good.
The arcade is really nice in there. And, you know, we're 80s kids, and, you know, who doesn't love a good arcade?
Exactly. Yeah, so for the fun for me on the ship, again, oddly enough, the first 2 cruises I really overplanned the entertainment. So I would every day I would go through the fun times on the Hub app. And I would heart the things that I wanted to go to, and then I would make everybody else heart the things they wanted to go to, and then I'd try to round everybody up and make them go to shows. We went to the opening night welcome show, and we went to a comedy show, and I think that is it for the extent of my going to a show, which was really minimal. But I had fun not going to a show.
Yeah, it was lovely.
So for me, I don't think I gambled at all, and I didn't do much, I guess. Now that in recap, I listened to some music. I wandered around the ship. Really enjoyed that movie night that we had watching Wonder Woman. But yeah, I just kind of enjoyed doing nothing, and it really made me excited to be able to cruise that way. I love a good show. I love the piano bar. I love all that stuff. I love karaoke, comedy, all that. But it was nice to just have a nice meal and just sit on the Lido and
do what we wanted.
Listen to the ocean and feel the breeze and just hang out. And so that was fun enough for me. Yeah. So and then of course the last day was our disembarkation. And that process was pretty good. This one was earlier than what we had. We had faster the fun, and so we had priority disembarkation. We had to be at one of the dining rooms at 6:30, and by 7:30 we were in the shuttle to go back to our car.
Right.
So it was really quick, and I don't think they started letting us off until about 7:15. So just getting off the ship and to the shuttle through customs, I think it was like 15 or 20 minutes. Super quick.
Super quick.
And then that was it.
That was it.
So, we did spend extra couple days in Florida, which was nice. But overall, it was a really great cruise. Really kind of a chill cruise where we just hung out with family. And I would recommend the I would recommend Port Canaveral.
Absolutely.
I would recommend the Carnival Liberty. I would recommend staying at New Smyrna Beach. I would recommend the parking that we did. So I have very, very few complaints about the cruise.
Yeah, no, it was a great time.
Well, what about you guys? Have you cruised out of Port Canaveral before? Have you been on the Carnival Liberty? Have you had a good time or a bad time? Please leave a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. You can also find us on social media. Those links are below. And we'd invite you to come on over to Facebook to the Lido Loca cruising community. That's our cruising community, open to everybody. Lots of good cruising conversation, lots of fun over there. And our numbers growing. We'd love to have you over there with us. So,
also, down below, leave comments of what your favorite thing to do in Freeport and Nassau.
Yeah, because we're going back, and I definitely like a recommendation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and but I guess that's it, Jenny. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, maybe hit that subscribe button so you see the new videos. If you like this video and appreciate what we're doing, leave us a like. It helps us out. And yeah, I guess that's it. And until the next video,
we'll see you on the Lido.
See you on the Lido.
Bye.
Bye.